2019, all contractors and any person who will attend this site are fully inducted so they have an understanding of the site layout and the site rules. All the contractors who are inducted to work at the site must also produce a method around a statement which they must read, understand and sign before they can carry out any works. So that's part of my role to make sure they do that. Where they've been inducted, I need to check that their cars are legal and legitimate, so I can go to the CITV website and check that they are. Once I approve those, I will issue them a pass with their photograph attached that they will need to display every morning to access the site to our site foreman, Ben. Without that pass, they won't be allowed on site. That will be a site rule. Also, site supplies will be highlighted by the site management teams and myself, which again, I will be placed to order. The site waste management scheme, we will be having a skip for each item, i.e. plasterboard, general rubble, general domestic waste, wood and metal, as part of the environment control file. I'll also be notifying building control to attend the site as and when required during the build. Client and contractors meetings, which will be arranged for once a week, will be again arranged by myself. At the end of the project, all the files will be stored at Greenwood's Construction's head office as part of their policy for 10 years for the client to have access to as when required. Thank you. I'll now hand you over to Ben.
I'm Ben, I'm the site foreman. My role, security and traffic management. The perimeter fence is going to be acoustic perimeter fence, obviously for the schools and what have you. It'll be 2.4 metres high, so kids won't be able to climb over. With the CCTV on it, all four corners, overlooking the site, so all corners will be covered. The CCTV can be monitored from the site office and linked to my phone. So after hours, I can keep an eye on the site. There'll be floodlighting dotted all over the site for security and safety reasons. I'll do a perimeter check every morning to make sure it's all secure, the perimeter's not been breached. Going on to traffic management, the site's a one-way system, so there's no need for vehicles reversing, which cuts down any safety issues. There will be a gateman man the gates during the work hours. The gateman's responsibilities is obviously letting the vehicles in and out, making sure no one leaves with dirty wheels, because his role is to wash the wheels on the trucks and stuff when they leave. There'll be a sweeper, a road sweeper every Saturday morning to ensure the roads are clean, and the speed limit on the site's 5 miles an hour. So that's it. That's it for me. Back to Lee.
Thank you very much, Ben. It's brilliant. Right, as you can see, under the influence of the fact that we are close to a school, we've incorporated them to sort of enjoy the build as we've gone along. And as you can see, a little bit of decoration, and obviously, understandably, we did have acoustic boarding all the way along. Yes, there is a fence perimeter, obviously, for the safety of the children. That was already there, existing. So we did get them to sort of paint and join on some of the pictures they wanted, just sort of whatever and everything along our hoarding. Incorporates the children a bit, makes them interested into what we're doing and everything. As you can see here, we have obviously Harris fenced all the nature reserve off, and what we did do, we contacted the Wildlife and Countryside Department for the Act of 1981. We've put a 2-foot sort of barrier around, because of the great crested newt that was in this, we found that was in this, and basically to protect that species, and at least then not impact on the environment, like I say, with our own attributes of storage, facilities of water and everything, so we're not encroaching on any of the nature, so we don't get any complaints from either the councils or the environmental agency. Okay, so what we've also done is we're going to open a open day, and the open day is going to be to bring in the local media, the local mayor, the residents and the school children. So what we're going to do, we're donating £1,000 into the fact that we are going to give towards the sports facilities of the school. and then at least they can incorporate. And we're also going to help them by installing more trees, help with carbon monoxide. As we know, they give off more chance for the environment. And then what we'll do on our celebration day, our open day, we will have a celebrity to come and now, thanks to our friend Dan, the administrator, and he's a personal friend of our celebrity, believe it or not, and she will be coming to just cut the ribbon for the new eco homes and new build that we're going to have. So if you'd like to reveal our new celebrity, Dame Barbara Windsor is coming, and here she is, and it's a great honour to have her on board with Greenwood Construction Limited. And here she is, but hopefully on the open day she's going to be a little bit more dressed than that, and hopefully it will be summer to help us with the construction. And as it is, on an eco build, we're trying to bestow, the future of the fact that there's no gas, it's all electric and solar powered, and at least then going forward, we are helping the community and the environment with all our construction. Well, thank you very much. That's the pre-construction phase plan and everything. So now, if anybody's got any questions that they'd like to ask, then please fire away.
Oh, great, guys. I have got one question. Obviously on the open day, I assume it's going to be really busy. A lot of obviously pedestrians and media interest and stuff. Is there like a traffic management plan in place, or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the pre-construction plan that we've had to show you here, obviously none of the workers will be on site. The build will be finished. Yeah. So you can see, imagine that even if we do tender for the new phase and our associates will do happy with our build, then we may tender for the others. But as it will be an open plan, pedestrianised, same with the gatehouse, same with the situation that they can come and go and monitor with visitor passes as well. Obviously, because like you say, every worker was DBS checked anyway, so we've worked closely with the headmaster and also the residents, because again, like you can say here, they're very close to the build at the moment and the farmer, so the lights are all facing in to the point, not too bright at night, and obviously no sirens and things bar the fire alarm bell. So you can see we've tried to take every factor into conjecture the fact that, we're trying to please everybody, because then if we have less complaints and have less influence on what we're doing is wrong, then we might be able to win, hopefully, the next tenders for the next 2 phases.
Brilliant, thank you.
Have you got any monitoring in for the Great Crested News? Do you have to put monitoring in place?
We're actually going to buckets. It's called bottling. Bottle tap. Yeah. So what you do is on these here you have buckets that they go into, and they can come in and do what's called a torch spotlight test. And weirdly enough, with the spawn, they know, with the spawn they then know that when these are coming into season. Now we are working with a company called Nevis, okay, and we're an environmental group that work with the ecology of this area, so that then we can actually, before we do build, if they're going into breeding, we will not build, and that is illegal under that act of the Countryside Act.
Very good. Spot on.
In your welfare, have you actually got facilities for men and women?
Yes, we have. As was spoken before, we did say that we had men and women facilities. We've got 3 or 4 microwaves in there. It's cleaned regularly. The supplies are checked regularly. As Sam said, we've got cleaning facilities, cleaning staff every day. Nobody's lone working at all on any of the positions inside. And again, massively health and safety, especially in being at eco. We've got solar panels and everything. But with the acoustic boards, as much as we've spent more on the safety side and the peaceful side, so that if we do win the next phases, they were more than happy to work with us. And because incorporating the pupils of the school and to build a few more trees, then at the end of the day, hopefully our environment will be a happy one.
I assume it's a F10, this particular project.
Oh, it's definitely notifiable, which that's what Dan did say. Obviously there's more than 20 workers, because we're going to have a maximum of about 30 staff at any one point, with the management team as well, coming and going of different services, different trades. We will monitor, obviously, under a plan, the construction plan. But again, that's when we go into the offices as we're working. This being a pre-construction phase plan, we're letting you know the layout, how we're going to do stuff, where everything is, so you are all happy as our clients that everything's in place and you're happy for the work.
The building itself is programmed for 3 months. It's a very fast track build. Spot type houses that we're building.
That nature reserve there, is that completely out of bounds then for obviously people
Yeah,
not
completely
associated?
perimetered, and the thing is, yes, there will be a gate, but obviously a gate to ingress and egress, because for the nevis to come along weekly to check if any of the buckets are filled with any of the nature. Obviously, you know.
I was just thinking of, you know, surrounding
No,
people,
it's
surrounding
completely
people
fenced
that
off.
live
And
in the
again,
area.
you'll have a 2-foot barrier, and it's like a rubber matting, so that the newts and everything can't get out, and that's basically the precautions that you take for that sort of type of animal and wildlife. But again, having Nevis on board as well as part of an ecological company, they can also monitor any other wildlife that's in
They
that
give
area.
us guidelines to work with as well if we need to do anything else, you know, add anything to it.
Again, in the administration, everything will be in the office, in files for anybody, or like I say, any environmental agency to come along, and they're quite helping to quite welcome to go through our files.
Spot on. Very good.
Thank you very
Brilliant.
much, and thank you very much for everything today.
Lee, that was almost like I tossed that one up for you there, wasn't
Mate,
it?
you're fucking-
Bang.
Right then, we'll just have a 10-minute changeover now. So you can relax, guys.
That's fine, gents. Well done.
Brilliant, lads.